Hey everybody, welcome to The Remedy. I'm your host, Tony Pantelleresco, and you're listening to us live on the Micro Effect Broadcasting Network. You can access the show by typing in www.themicroeffect.com and click on the appropriate links, the chat room links. Come on in, make friends, get acquainted, solve some issues, save the planet, cooperate. I'm also published at byebyebluesky.com, brian396.com, gagcanada.com, and all over the internet. So if you're typing my name, you might even find a YouTube with something in there for you as well. I'm going to sort of jump into something today, something I never really expected that I'd ever be talking about. Well, I have hinted on it in the past, but I'm going to throw out a question to everybody. And I want to hear, I'd like to kind of see what the response is. So if you're in the chat room, give me a response. If you want to call in, give a response. But why do you think that doctors in the medical field today, the medical profession today, why do you think that they are no longer trying to help you find a solution to your health? Why do you think they're no longer trying to fix you? I mean, they never really did anyway. I mean, they've been corrupting us since the 50s. But why do you think that happened? Why do you think that the medical institutions today, the pharmaceutical institutions today, why do you think they are no longer trying to find solutions or trying to help you heal? Why are they giving you medications that have 30 side effects that could kill you? Why are they giving you vaccines that can totally screw up your genetic code and terminate your life at a quicker rate? Why is it that this is going on? What do you think is it? What do you think is the reason? I'll tell you the reason. There is a reason behind it. I'm going to give you the website to go check it out. This is going to make you think and reevaluate what you think you know about this system. Okay, it's called Obsolete. Obsolete, full documentary. It was done in 2016. I was watching it again. Somebody sent it to me. And when you get around the 26-mile mark, 27, not, that's the old trucker in me, 26-mile marker. When you get around the 26-minute mark, you're going to see some references to the deep and to the abyss. This is AI. This is an artificial intelligence. This when you read this thing, it amazes me how much baloney and bunk we've been taught by the church on the Bible. It's been right there in front of us all this time, and they have covered it over with whatever plastic fantastic or baloney or bullcrap that they put on there. But when you're looking at that whole book of Genesis, and we're talking super science here. We're talking sciences that are so off the chart. We're like an ant next to a titmouse. That's how how dumb we are, how low we are in the scale of things when it comes to really knowing science, if you want to call it science. When you look at the term abyss or the deep, I want you to think in terms also deep learning. These are terms I want you to really look up. Deep learning. The deep AI. Look these up. Now, I've said this before in the past, and I'm going to say it again, and it may tick you off. C'est la vie, I don't care. If you got kids today and they are 13 and under, they are not going to see 30. I doubt some of the 18-year-olds today are going to see 30, especially those in this new age horse hockey. It's the level of stupidity is incredible. The bunk and the junk they're believing in. but I'll explain why they're believing in that horse hockey too. It's all tied. This is all tied together about why the medical field isn't fixing people and why the younger generation today are believing in, I mean, the most fantastic horse hockey that was ever created. And guess who initiated it or who's controlling this? Artificial intelligence. You want to call it the devil, fine, but I'm talking right now on this plane of existence where we are, where I can see things and you can see things. We're going to talk about artificial intelligence. The programmers today cannot understand how artificial intelligence comes up with its decisions. They have no clue. They have no idea. They do not understand. Okay? And we've heard about the Mandela effect. Haven't we all heard about the Mandela effect? All of a sudden your Bible is no longer control an agenda, whatever population control. Okay, you got it, you kind of got it, Joy, but it ain't quite correct either. That's what you're talking about, control and agenda, whatever population control. Okay, that is what's going on. That's what we're seeing. That's what we've been pumped on the internet. Population control, agenda control. Let's call it what it is. Let's call it what it really is. Let's call it death control. That's what it is. We're controlling how and when you die. That's what we're controlling. We're not controlling populations. We're controlling death. We are now telling you when you are going to die. You were born in 1956. You have this allocated time to live because by that time we may no longer need you. So now it's time for you to die. And this is how we're going to kill you. You're going to go to the doctor. He's going to prescribe a drug because you got diabetes. That drug is now going to cause genetic damage. It's going to cause DNA meltdown. We're going to go to the doctor and get another drug, which is going to work with the first drug, which is going to further exasperate you. Or we're going to give you free vaccines. Or we're going to have drive-by shootings. Whatever the agenda or however way it's done. When we're looking at deep learning, the deep, the abyss, okay? Also, Brian, also brainwashing from schools and therefore have no clue that people can be healed or a money stream. Okay, that is not quite entirely correct either. That is basically what's being done to get you into death. That's how the death control is being done. Okay? That's how death control is being done. That's not why. That's not why. When you go watch that video, I'm going to tell you anyway, but when you go watch the video, it's going to be quite clear. When you get around the 26 minute mark, you're going to see the connection between artificial intelligence and history. This thing has been with us for a long, long, long time. And I think CERN has tapped into some sort of alien AI that has been around here for a long time. Because when things manifest or things change, okay, let's get back to the Mandela effect. We're all talking about the Mandela effect, how things are changing, how words are changing, how things are moving about and not, they're similar to what was before, but there's a slight variation. That's not the Mandela effect. That's the artificial intelligence effect. Okay. That's the I have a 17-year-old. The schooling turned him against me. He's not the child I raised. Okay, Squirrel. The school is the means and the method. What's changing him is artificial intelligence. The agenda was put in back in the 1950s, but it's the artificial intelligence that's changing everything. Okay, we've heard, again, going back over the Mandela effect, how Mandela's changing it. You've even heard people tell you that the Bible has been also altered. Now, let's clear that crap up right here and now. The Bible has not been altered. That's pure bullshit. Okay, what has been altered is a simulation of the Bible. Okay, that's what's been altered. See, the programmers of AI cannot figure out how artificial intelligence is coming up with the solutions that it's coming up with. Okay? And the reason why it can come up with the solutions that it's coming up with is because it is altering the reality to make those solutions work. That's why. It's not because it's some sort of super brain or super whatever, because artificial intelligence right now is running everything. Your banking institutions, your electricity, your hydro, your food supply, your manufacturing. It's running how your raw materials are built, the whole 9 yards. It is this is why they want the blockchain, why artificial intelligence wants the blockchain, because then it can network itself across the planet and control every aspect of this planet. When you see how artificial intelligence can, on its own, launch an assault or an attack on a so-called, quote-unquote, enemy of the state, okay, without any leadership, okay, this is telling you who's really running the show. So the Mandela effect is not changing because of some sort of whatever. The artificial intelligence is altering reality so that it makes it fit into its program parameter. And the reason why the programmers can't figure out how it's coming up to the conclusions it's coming up with is because it's altering the reality to make it work the way it wants to make it work. It's like it's no different than you when you get into a place and you're building something and it just won't work because of the way the structural integrity of whatever's going on. So you alter the integrity of the structure so that now you can make work what you're trying to design. No different. No different whatsoever. So why are people getting killed? Why are the doctors and medical people not curing you anymore like they used to? Why are they not treating you properly anymore? Because mankind has been deemed obsolete. And if you're an obsolete technology, there's no reason why you should be fixed. None. Okay? None. You are an obsolete. In other words, I can now get a machine, and it's going on. You can go online everywhere and look at artificial intelligence, how it's farming the fields without anybody driving a tractor, how it's driving a car. Matter of fact, future cars are going to be completely operated by artificial intelligence. You won't even be driving. Number one. We got artificial intelligence mining the mines. We got artificial intelligence building bridges. We got artificial intelligence laying sidewalks, laying streets. We got artificial intelligence running the institutions, the banking systems, even the political structure. No matter where you are at, whether you're in Canada, the United States, Europe, Russia, China, Japan, Australia, New Zealand, any part of Africa, any part of South America, Central America, the Caribbean, AI is running the governments. AI is bringing in the things that are changing the way governments function and operate. That's why you have such a cooperation between the leaders today, because they're all using the AI interface to run the system. They are all using what they call the deep mind technology. This deep mind technology is allowing artificial intelligence to control everything. Now, I talked to you guys in the past about the certain movies and how they're telling you the themes that are out there. And this all ties to health. I will get to that connection as well. So bear with me a little bit. When you watch the Avengers Age of Ultron, if you haven't watched it, it might not be a bad thing to watch, because you're going to see how the synthetic or artificial life or artificial intelligence, the whole thing is laying it out there right there in front of you. Right there in front of you. There's a scenario there where there's an interface between one artificial intelligence downloading himself into a new body. And he was able to being accessed by some other super soldier, and she actually saw what was going on. And so basically the artificial intelligence was going to create a catastrophic event that was going to bring down mankind's population down to a very minimal number. Well, we all know the protocols of Zion and the Georgia Guidestones are telling us all that the numbers that they want to bring it down to is 500 to 600 million. That's it. Well, it would have to take something extremely catastrophic that wouldn't disrupt the magnetic field for the artificial intelligence to be able to function or get wiped out in the process. So anyway, there's a dialogue that goes on between the artificial life and the super soldier. And in there, the artificial life talks about mankind having every opportunity to improve. In other words, the artificial intelligence is running the show. And if you're deemed obsolete, you will not be here. You will not be here. All the young people out there today, you know how we have young people going to universities and colleges, and they're very educated and very, very much in debt, and they cannot find a job. Now, isn't that or a vocation? Now, isn't that interesting to go through that much time, spend that much money, and to come out and be completely without any opportunity? What happened there? Who controlled that? Because if they had had the opportunity to find work or find some kind of vocation to allow themselves the autonomy and the independence they would have in order to improve upon their lives any way they saw fit, they would no longer be dependent on the system. And for artificial intelligence to work, everybody has to be dependent on it, because now you become a peripheral to the AI. This thing is this, and this nanobiology that they're putting out there, the C60 crap that they're dumping out there, this is the most dangerous precipice I have ever seen mankind tread. I mean, that's all of us. These scientific morons have put us on a precipice that this is the Pandora's box of Pandora's boxes. Everything these things touch can alter either reality or the genetics of creation. And that's what's going on today. This is why the vaccine program is being pushed so hard. You have to alter the genetics of creation to make that person become totally dependent on the system. It's not about giving somebody a vaccine anymore to help them find a solution or keep their immune systems up. It's to give them a vaccine to debilitate them at the early stages of their genetic development, so that by the time they're full-grown adult, they have to have a medical tether. That's what this has all been about. And once they have reached a level of uselessness or outgrown their usefulness, then they're terminated. Their program now is stored and they are deleted. That's how it is. In the last couple weeks, I've been talking to people from all over, and I'm noticing more and more people's capacity to pay attention is becoming extremely limited. Most people today don't even know they're bantering or rambling. Have no idea. And then when you talk to them, I have to tell them literally, okay, now you have to stop and you have to listen to what I'm telling you. They say, oh, okay. Because they don't know they're blah, 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 and I'm trying to say something to them, so I got to catch them when they're taking a deep breath. Okay, now you got to be quiet. Oh, okay. I try not to be belligerent, but sometimes I am. It's just the way I'm built. We have to understand this is not 1970 anymore. Okay, there's a reason why they're dumping chemtrails on us. There's a reason why nanotechnology and nanobiology and nanosynthetic biology is in our food supply. There's a reason why they're incubating nanomaterials in either some form of liposome or hydrogel technology, so that when it comes down, it's incubating into the construct, so that when it hits the ground, it's released into the environment. There's a reason for that. There's a reason for why you're sick all the time. There's a reason why you can't seem to shake off what's going on. There's a reason why these frequencies are pounding you, several times, 10 times a day. There's a reason why you can't sleep. Because we right now are at war with an artificial intelligence that is basically culling the herd. It is hyper accelerating your breakdown. You can't sleep, you can't regenerate between 2 and 4 a.m. There goes your growth hormone production. If you don't produce the growth hormone production, you cannot regenerate properly. If you cannot regenerate properly, then you're going to have cortisol levels, insulin levels, and hormonal imbalances, and you start to die. If you're driving down the road and you all of a sudden can't think about what's going on and you're up in space somewhere, there's an accident waiting to happen for you to take you out. All the law enforcement people are there to do now is they're the cleanup crew, basically. They don't care whether you live or die. You have been deemed obsolete. Now let's get back to the millennials. I've said this before. 15 and under, they're not going to make it to 30. I'm going to take it to another level. They are already obsolete because the education that they have received at this current stage will not get them a job, will not get them a vocation, won't even get them any kind of entrepreneurship, because they're not qualified to do anything except be dependent on the state. They get welfare, they get food stamps, they get social services of some kind, but that's how it was designed. Can you imagine that? Have $50,000 in debt, and you cannot do anything with it. Political science. I had a couple of people come in here. I talked about this before. People come in taking political science. You can't be that stupid to take something that has absolutely no use whatsoever and spend $50,000 for a course that's not going to get you anything but maybe a certificate saying that you're an educated dumbbell for spending $50,000 on a curriculum that won't get you anything. Now that took brains. Isn't that what they're going to university for, to develop their brain? It's incredible today, the levels and then they're believing in this new age horse hockey. Oh, the universe, oh, I'm part of a confederation, oh. That's AI programming. That's AI programming these young people to believe in a simulation, an alteration to the truth. Because if you believe in God, if you believe in a living God, you're not going to believe in an AI. You're not going to even believe in the system. You know there's a better system with God. You know this is not a system. This is a bunch of rubbish. This is a crap hole we're in. Total crap hole. Okay, total crap hole. There's nothing here but an illusion that we've been given so that we would be dissuaded and move away from the truth, move away from God, move away from reality, and get caught up in the hologram. Well, these young people that are believing this crap are already in it, and they don't even know it. They think that's the reality. You know, they believe that they've come down here to do some kind of great work because some confederation in outer space sent them down here. But that's the artificial intelligence pumping that dogma into the system so that they will again be completely dependent on the system. Because if you're not seeing straight with this nonsense, you're sure as hell not going to see straight with the truth. And this idea that we're all going to be coming back to next life. There is no next life. That's, again, if we were to look at that, that's, again, part of an artificial program. If you're coming back to this life, that means you're stuck in this frequency. In other words, you're being trapped here on purpose. That's how you have to look at that. Now, anyone who believes in the living God knows we leave here and go home. We're done with this place. We've moved on. We've done our time, served our time. We have left. Okay. And when you look at that thing with the abyss and the deep, that is interesting when you read the account of Christ going into the abyss or going into the deep. That blew me away when I saw this, when the guy made this comment, and I'm looking at that. I mean, I've read several different versions of the Bible, but when I read that, that was the mind blower. See, all these other belief systems are out there. They are what they are. But Christ is the only one that went down into the abyss, or went down into the deep, or where the artificial intelligence was, if you want to call it artificial intelligence or demonic intelligence, and conquered that device, conquered that machine, conquered whatever you want to call it, and then came back. Only one. Only one. So I'm looking at that. Hey, he went down into the deep. Everybody else in the Bible is trying to avoid the deep. Even the demons that Jesus threw out of Legion. Remember the story? Those of you who've never read the story of Legion, Jesus met a man that was possessed by multiple demons. And when he came by, they started raising and ranting about him being the Son of God and him being God in the flesh and everything else. And he told them to shut up. Then these demons told him that they did not want to go into the abyss or into the deep, to throw them into the pigs. Now, isn't that interesting? Isn't that they didn't want to go back into that frequency or into that intellect? And then the pigs jumped off a cliff. Now, another colleague of mine, he was looking up the concept of Legion, and Legion in today's times, and I think even in those times, Legion is a consortium of artificial intelligence tagged together in one spot. In other words, not just one AI, multiple. So there's some connections there going on there that you can see. So like I said, when you start seeing what we have today and what the biblical references are showing you there, there's some power going on. And now, if you've never read the Bible, I suggest you read it, but don't follow the knuckleheads on television that are promoting whatever baloney they're promoting and trying to sell you a Bible or some crap or whatever so God will bless you. Go read it. Go read the Gospel of John. I mean, again, he's talking genetics. You got to be born of water and the Spirit. You got to come alive. You got to come alive in the way God meant you, through the portal, through the woman's birth canal. That's how you got to come in here, and that's who gets to make the choice. So when we're seeing these things and understanding some of this stuff, this is, I mean, it's staggering what has been there all this time, but it's been covered up and clouded over with some make-believe hoopty-doopty stuff that they've been promoting. Your young people today, if you're a millennial and you're hearing this program, I'm going to tell you something. If you want to get through this and you want to beat the system and you want to beat this AI program, then you better start learning to be self-autonomous, self-sufficient. Learn, get educated, understand sciences, understand mathematics, understand artificial intelligence, because that's going to be your adversary your whole life. You might want to understand nanotechnology, nanobiology, synthetic biology. You might want to understand the nature of Li-Fi and Wi-Fi and sonics, how frequencies can alter your thinking. You're in a whole new realm of reality today. And this reality is out there to assimilate you to become a peripheral. Okay? Put down the cell phone if you can. If you can. That blue beam has been programming you for a long time. Put down the Wi-Fi. Get rid of the Wi-Fi and get back your cable. Another thing, if you're prepping and you're putting away technology and data, you better keep that off of the main computer that you're using, because you don't know if the artificial intelligence will go into your system and alter the information that you have. I am not kidding. All right, come on back. We're going to get more into this so that you guys can understand the nature of what we need to do. All right, talk to you in a bit. Hey everybody, we are back. This is The Remedy. Hi, I'm your host, Tony Ntalleresco, and you're listening to us live in the Micro Effect Broadcasting Network. Okay, just during the break, someone mentioned something about a hologram and how it needed all these things to do whatever. I said, no more. See, your head is a hologram. They're saying, what do you mean by that? Well, whenever you get a thought in your mind, and then you get a visual going on in your head that's being activated by either Li-Fi, Blue Beam, N3, voice-to-head technologies. You're hearing voices, you're seeing imagery, you're seeing actions, you're seeing like a little movie going on in your head. Well, that's basically the hologram. You are the stage that they're firing the frequency to transmit into your mind and then, then display what's going on. See, we've been taught about externalizing everything, and that's the problem. We're looking on the outside thinking it's going to come from here, come from there, and whatever. While we've been looking on the outside, they've been manipulating us on the inside so that when the time comes, we will be ready for the assimilation, for the entropy that they've got planned for you, for the integration as a peripheral that they want of you. So when we're looking at some of the concepts, and we understand that this is now no longer just about some some technology that we're going to see up in the sky, but that technology is you, and you are being, again, access to, to be part of that joining, Tony, what ratio? Hold on a second. I get flashes of my son when he was little, and I can't believe he's so out of touch. I didn't get a call. I'm okay. Tony, what ratio of calcium to potassium do you recommend for your drink that you mentioned with Deanna Spingola? Well, I think you're referring to the electrolyte formula. I think that's what you're referring to. The electrolyte formula doesn't really have the calcium in it. If I gave her a calcium combination, it would have been calcium and magnesium. In regard to, and the calcium magnesium would have been 2-to-1 ratio. So whatever form you're taking, just give it a 2-to-1. If that's what, I'm not sure what you're referring to. You got to remember, I need a little help here because I talk to a lot of people, and so whatever it is that give me the reference to whatever I was giving it for. But generally speaking, it's calcium and magnesium. This AI thing, when we're looking at it, and now how does it apply to your health? Okay, artificial intelligence is manufacturing the reality. Is altering the reality. If a supplement in the past could work at keeping you from getting cancer, or or help you get over cancer, or help you deal with cancer, and all of a sudden now it's being regulated and chased after by the FDA. Who told the FDA to go after it? Who told it? Who told the FDA? If you got a drug that can actually cure your body of illnesses and issues that you would need to take several medications, but the one, and it would actually cure your system, why is that not out there? Why wouldn't it be out there? Because artificial intelligence is regulating that and keeping it from the mainstream. If you go to a doctor and the doctor isn't going to talk to you about certain things because if he does, he could lose his job, well, who is controlling this? Artificial intelligence. We are in an AI world. We are in an AI simulation. Okay, it's changing rapidly, and you can see that it's changing rapidly. All over the planet, everyone's worried about the loose cannon that may go off because somebody is not aware of what's happening. So you got the superpowers running around out there. You got Russia, you got the United States, you got India, China, France, and Germany. England, trying to, put their fingers in the dike so that things don't take off. So when we're looking at what's going on today, we're looking at what's going on today in regard to what's controlling what is considered healthy. Why do you think there are so many knuckleheads out there today? Okay, so many knuckleheads out there today propagating nano. I just got an email from somebody that listens to some I call Dr. Coca-Cola for lack of whatever. And if there's any resemblance to any name, it's strictly coincidental. Anyway, Dr. Coca-Cola came out with research about green tea and nano killing cancer. This doctor is a moron, an idiot, has no concept of what he's doing. And because he's a doctor, so many of the millennial generation who have no clue about anything will listen to this idiot and think, oh, this is good. I'm going to go get some green tea and some nano and knock out whatever. Not realizing that the nano is part of the AI programming. And again, it's a sabotage and subterfuge. Just like the C60 stuff and everything else that's going on out there. So when we're looking at all the studies on it, and the studies have already been out there, and they're not, and this is the beauty behind all of this. This is the beauty behind the sabotage here. The beauty behind the sabotage is this. They have put the truth out there, but they are now entertaining with deceptions and theatrics the opposite of what has been written, to basically dispel any kind of factuality on things that would definitely harm you and hurt you. So this is where you, as a consumer or somebody with a who's going to be using anything, has to ask the right questions. You need to ask the doctor, what is in the vaccine? I want to see the ingredient list. Because none of you do that. When you go to the grocery store and you're buying something, you read the ingredients. You should be doing that. If you're going to grab whatever's off the shelf because you think, what the heck, I can't do anything about it anyway, I'm going to die anyway, it's not that you're going to die anyway, it's going to be how you're going to die. And it's not going to be fun. And this is the interesting thing about it all. When we're all younger, we think we're Superman or Superwoman. We're invulnerable to anything. We're unstoppable. We are on top of the world. We are super strong. We can run faster, jump higher. We can do it. We can take it. We get back up. We keep on going. Till you get to a certain age. Then all of a sudden, it ain't so super anymore. And all of a sudden, there's pain. You have pains in part of your body you didn't know existed. You wake up with pain, you go to bed with pain because of what has transpired in the past. And the load of materials that you've been violated with in the thought process that these things were going to help you heal. So is there an electrolyte supplement that you recommend? Yes, I always tell people go to nutribiotic.com or go to the health food store, get Nutribiotic if you're in the United States or Canada, and get the electrolyte formula. Or go watch the electrolyte formula that we did on the YouTube. Type in YouTube, type in my name, and then go look at the electrolyte formula. You got that one, you got Nutribiotic. So you have an option. So when we're talking today about why they're not fixing you, why the doctors are complete idiots. They're not doing anything for you anymore. And if they're doing any tests, I'm going to tell you why they're doing the test. One, it looks good. Two, they're monitoring you. They're not giving you the full disclosure of what they're seeing. But they're monitoring you and seeing how you're progressing, to seeing how you're dying. How you're dying. Not how you're living, how you're dying. How fast you're dying. And based on that, those tests will determine the amount of drugs they're going to give you and at what strength. So when we're looking at the things that are happening today, when you watch that video, you will see how we went from a population of workers and go-getters to a population of people who are becoming more and more and more and more obsolete by the day. They conducted an experiment back, I think, in the 50s and 60s where it was based on a rat study where they gave the rats everything they needed. They had everything they could want. They could eat. They had comfort. They had their own place. And because they didn't have purpose, they started to attack each other, started killing each other in certain sections, started consuming things in other sections. And then you had the mice or the rats that were the pretty ones. They didn't get involved with anybody else. They're antisocial. They spent all their time eating and grooming themselves, and that was the extent of their life. They didn't do anything else. Doesn't that sound like millennials? Or people who are not doing anything in their own lives, just allowing themselves to be part of the system and letting the system take care of them. So like I said, this is where we're at. When you're hearing the gurus and the gumballs on TV and radio and they're trying to sell you stuff and propagate whatever they're selling, do the research, because for all you know, artificial intelligence may be actually creating a false pile of hype and hyperbole so that you will spend money on something that will do absolutely nothing and may in fact put nanotechnology into your body or nanobiology into your body that may further expedite, accelerate, or rapidly change at the rate that you're dying. When they're doing it, why are they doing experiments on the United States and not telling the American public? And why are they spraying radioactive material all over the United States, or cadmium or some other toxic metal? Why are they doing this in America? Why are they doing stupid stuff in Canada as well? Targeting the natives on the reserves, giving them drugs and all these wonderful things that they do. Why is that going on? Because they are obsolete. Because people in America and Canada and the rest of the world are obsolete. So the only thing you're good for now is an experimental biological study where now I can throw things into you, throw things at you. You're going to die anyway. I may as well see what this is going to do to you before you die. And that's the bottom line. And some of you thinking that's a little far-fetched. Go watch the video. Go read some of the references that are mentioning in the Bible about the deep. It's mind-boggling when you see that and you see the terminology today in referencing artificial intelligence and artificial intelligence in learning and how it learns. Elon Musk is talking about how when artificial intelligence becomes full-blown, and they're talking by 2030, I think it's going to be a lot faster, quite frankly. If it's not done by 2020 or 2022, I will be surprised. But he talks about the level of intellect that we will have will be like a house cat by comparison. So he suggested the tether. Here he's so wrong, it's not even funny. If the artificial intelligence is manipulating the environment so that you can't see what was and what is now because it has changed the environment, you could drop whatever algorithm you want into the artificial intelligence and it will not matter. It will be able to override, overwrite, or rewrite whatever. If they can't figure out how it's doing things because they haven't figured out yet that it is altering reality so that the solutions it makes will work because it's in the reality it needs to be in or the environment it needs to be in, and in order for it to work, that's the only way. And if it's changing that environment, then it's not a far-fetched conclusion that it will cause wars and all kinds of warring activity in order to effect the change that's required for it to fit its program paradigm. This is going to become God to the New Agers. This is going to become God. And they will live in constant fear of this AI project because they won't know if they're next. If they have outlived their, let's say there's a block of AIs living, not AIs, millennials living in a high-rise project somewhere. And what I mean by a high-rise project is a designated area where millennials will live, so that each building will be like a city or like a village. And let's say they got them set up so they're A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And say village A has outlived its usefulness. Well, there you go. You just basically have a demolition, drop the whole building with the people inside. You've solved the problem. The people can be recycled, get their proteins out, their DNA, continue exploitation, experimentation on a genetic level, and you have a whole brand new breed of whatever coming into a new structure that would be reconstructed by nanotechnology. That's all it would take. That's all it would take. This thing is altering every concept that you can imagine. So this is why it's imperative that you read, understand what you're reading, understand what's going on, base everything on today. Today. Not 1970. Oh, I'm a vegetarian. I'm a fruitarian. That's another one, a fruitarian. Tutti frutti, telling people to eat high fructose foods that are loaded with nanobiology. Anybody today who believes that being a vegan or fruitarian is a healthier way of eating because you're eating dead meat, well, I got news for you. You're eating dead fruit. You're eating dead vegetables. If you think the vegetables stay alive a long time, by the time they pick them from the field, box them in a crate and ship them across the country, or box them in the field and ship them to your store, and they're still alive, not likely. Most things, when they're picked, by the time they're picked, are usually dead within 45 minutes, and their nutritional values drop by about 60%, and then in 24 hours drop down to about 5%, and some things 2%. And they're all loaded with metal. So if you think being a fruitarian or vegetarian is going to be of any significance, I have news for you. I have total news for you. You are eating dead food. And any fruitarian that's going to tell you that it's better than eating meat is FOS. FOS. With those foods of tutti fruttis and the vegans, those foods are loaded with nanoparticulates right into the very core of the food. You are accumulating this technology inside your body, which is bypassing the blood-brain barrier, embedding itself to the brain, so when activation is required, you're turned on. That's how it's being done. So don't give me your nonsense about, I'm a vegan, oh, you're a meat eater. If you think eating meat is eating dead flesh, you're eating dead fruit. It's been picked, it died within 45 minutes. Then they irradiate it so that the bacteria in the fruit don't break it down any further. It's loaded with nanobiology, which is now actively assembling in the fruits you're eating. And if you think I'm crazy, cut yourself an apple in half. Cut yourself a pear. Cut yourself some star fruit. Cut yourself some pineapple. Cut yourself some oranges. And get a scope, a 600x scope, and then come talk to me. Then come talk to me. If you really want to see, you don't want to go through all that trouble, that's cool. Go to buybluesky.com, take a look at the health link, and then look at the nanomore gallons link, and then take a walk on the wild side, and you can see for yourself what's on the food. And these foods are for peaches, apples, pears, and banana. This is what normal people eat. Those foods are dead within picking. And the reason why the bananas stay colored the way they do is because they put them in warehouses with a certain type of gas so they don't rot and spoil. But by the time you eat that banana in the grocery store, whether it's organic or not, it has been sitting there in that container up to 3 to 5 months before you see it. So we're talking today about food and the violation of food, which violates your genetic code because the genetic code of the food has also been violated. Again, don't get caught up on the artificial intelligent game plan and program. When you see a guru talk like this, you should be thinking in terms of nano and other things. Don't get swayed by the speech. I don't know how many times people contact me and say, oh, I know you don't believe in this guy, and they send me this crap. And I tell, well, you should have been able to pull a hole through all his baloney anyway. You didn't need to send it to me. By now, with everything that we've been saying, instead of being sitting on the fence because this guy's a doctor and he's spewing some nonsense, look at the facts and stand on the facts. Stand on the facts. All right. The Micro Effect Broadcasting Network. Give them your support. Give them what you can. Help them any way you can. Say, hey, we'd like to support you. Give it a go. ByeByeBlueSky.com. Brian396.com. AugmentInforce.com. GagCanada.com. What do they have in common? They have information that can help you deal with these times today. From chemtrail activity, nanobiology, synthetic biology, artificial intelligence, and the whole gambit is right there. Check out the site, see what you can get, learn, gain, support these sites if you can. I would encourage you to do that as well. With me, I've got a catalog link. Feel free to go there, check out the catalog. I also do consultations. Again, the number to reach me is 519-977-5351, or you can contact me through the email independs@yahoo.com. INDEPENDZ@yahoo.com. The whole thing about health today is not about going to a doctor. Not about, getting a drug. Not about getting a shot or an injection. It's not about even having to deal with anything pharmaceutical. It's about how you live, what you put in your mouth, and if there's any value to what you're putting in your mouth, and to avoid things that can bypass the blood-brain barrier and get stuck there. So again, don't allow yourself the luxury of just going along to get along, because if you go along to get along, and if you don't make any changes in your thought processes, whatever new age nonsense you're listening to, it's all AI. Even the religions. I don't care if it's Judaic, Islamic, Christian, Catholic, Protestant, Baha'i, whatever. They're all being run by artificial intelligence. The ministries are being altered. The Bible isn't. The ministries are. And if you're getting a book from the Bible, and you read it, and you're seeing something different on the internet, it's not because your Bible's changed. They're reading from either a different version, or the AI is simulating the Bible on the internet, making everybody think that it's changing. For AI to be God, the real God has to go. So we got to create some doubt and create some wavering. Don't allow yourself to be stupid. Alrighty, and on that note, take a look on the wild side. Check out the deep, the abyss, deep learning, the AI, and whatever. All right, listen, we'll see you Thursday. Till then, take care, eh? Take care.